When is the last time that you called one of your customers? Seriously, just call them and ask, how are we doing? And what can we do better for you? And how'd you like the last project? Really did a poll, a survey poll, not the old survey monkey where you send it out and pray to God they go clickety clickety and then hit submit. Not that, but actually old school. Pick up the phone and talk to somebody and ask how they're doing. Ask how their family's doing before you get down to business. Those type of connections is what's going to fuel your fire. Those connections of listening to your customers or where they're at, listening to where they want to go. They're going to give you ideas you probably never even thought of. They're going to guide your company to some new pinnacle that you haven't even been thinking about, all because you asked the question of, hey, what can I do? Oh man, it's been so much fun. I can't even tell you how much fun it's been. This is Thursday. It's day 2 of the Sign Expo. Yesterday was amazing. So many people. My God, I always forget how big this industry is. I forget how huge this industry is. I've shaken so many hands, hugs, and just get to reunite with a bunch of friends. You know you're doing something right. And it fills my soul, my heart so much when I have my customers come up and shake hands and want to talk. How cool is that? How cool is it when your customers come and they talk to you and they thank you for the upgrades at SquareCoil? They thank us for what's happening. They ask for what's new and what's exciting coming up. And we actually have a true family. I've always wanted an organization that has its ear, on the railroad track, so to speak. You can hear the train coming a mile away. I love that where we're always on the pulse. I just love every part of that. And I say family. When you come on board with SquareCoil, you're part of our family. That means something to us. That's not some gimmick or some marketing tool. And to have that family atmosphere all the time in our booth yesterday, wow, it was amazing. It really was. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate everybody coming to stop by. If you haven't seen this, we're here today. We're here tomorrow. So much neat stuff. Hey, the Learning Lounge. That was a pretty good turnout, right? I'm glad you guys came over and listened to the difference between a president and CEO and what's it take to be a leader in your organization. I hope you got some good ideas out of that one. I will probably re-give that speech here on the podcast in about a month or two. I got to reward the people that actually took time to come see me. I can't just give the good stuff right off the bat. Come on now. But it was a great speech. I'm happy everyone was there. Thank you so much for listening. Just want to take a moment to talk about SquareCoil here. SquareCoil has been powering the signage industry since 2011, and we're only growing bigger and better and stronger every single day. Some of the latest updates have just made my life a lot easier. I'm sure it's going to make your life a lot easier. So if you haven't checked us out, go ahead and get on our website, squarecoil.com. Take a look. And if you have an outdated key, an old software program that's going to be closing its doors this year, definitely take a look at us because we can make that transition real simple for you. Take a look, squarecoil.com. All right. I'm just riding my high. I'm telling you guys how it is. It is so easy to get mired in the details and get mired in the negativity and get mired in all of that. It's simple. It happens to me all the time. I get cranky. I get, where there's so many little details here. And I'm just like, God, I want to, pick my head up and look forward, look far reaching. And sometimes you get stuck in those little details. And it creates a bad bad attitude, bad atmosphere. And so you got to stop, you got to pull away, and you got to just be happy again. This ISA Expo is exactly that for me. And it opened my eyes to what we do and what you guys do. You guys make somebody's idea, their business, and that you broadcast it to the world on the side of a building. How amazing is that? You do environmental graphics to when those employees walk into those four walls, they see it and they get excited. They're part of something bigger. We bring those thoughts to life. That is so cool. That is so neat that we infect an emotional change in the people around us from what we do. You get the chance to build this really cool custom sign. People are going to stare at that sign. They're going to look and go, wow, how neat is that? If that business is that cool on the outside, how cool is it on the inside? I want to check it out. I want to be a part of that business. We evoke all those emotions on that. And I think it's lost. I really do. I'm riding the high from the expo here, and it's so neat to see all the new stuff that's coming out. I walked by one of the printers, And they had a 3D printer sitting out there. They had a printer that was flat, but it was actually 3D. Remember the Cracker Jack things in the 80s? You can kind of move them from side to side and the image would change. We can actually print those now. We can actually make that happen. So just, wow, so much cool stuff. When is the last time that you called one of your customers? Seriously, just call them and ask, how are we doing? And what can we do better for you? And how'd you like the last project? Really did a survey poll. Not the old survey monkey where you send it out and pray to God they go clickety and then hit submit. Not that. But actually old school. Pick up the phone and talk to somebody and ask how they're doing. Ask how their family's doing before you get down to business. Those type of connections is what's going to fuel your fire. Those connections of listening to your customers or where they're at, listening to where they want to go. They're going to give you ideas you probably never even thought of. They're going to guide your company to some new pinnacle that you haven't even been thinking about, all because you asked the question of, hey, what can I do? Being able to drop your guard and just listen to what's happening it's scary a little bit, but not really. If you've gotten to the point that you're a leader in your company, you've already learned that you do not have every single good idea and you have a team behind you. I love the saying, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a team. And as every company wants to go very, very far, you got to have a team. And that team includes your customers. They include the people that are buying from you and to listen to them and see what's going on. I'm definitely going to come back from the expo and pick up the phone more myself and just ask, how's it going? Where's the new problems? Where's the new headaches? What do you like and not like? Those are really good questions to have. They're not attacking you. They're not attacking your company. They're just talking about the experience they had. So if you have a bad experience or you get somebody on the phone and they just want to complain or gripe, there's 2, maybe 3 things that are going to happen. Number 1, you're going to learn. Number 2, they might be venting and it might not all be about you. They might have had a really bad day at work and something that was probably 0.01 on their scale is now at 10 just because they're irritated. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. And number 3, hey, they're going to walk away because they got to talk or vent closer to you. There's still going to be a connection. Even when I tell somebody they did a bad job and they say, I'm very sorry, we'll make it right, they're putting effort out into it, I instantly have a connection with that person, even though I was upset, because they're trying to make it right. They're doing the right thing, the good thing. Those people I'm always going to stand next to at the end of the day, whether I had a good experience or bad experience, because they get it, they understand it, and they want to fix it. I will never, ever forget, there was a gentleman here, and unfortunately, he was taken away from us way too suddenly in a helicopter accident. But he had a big vinyl printing shop here in San Diego. And we had ordered all these prints. We told him their exterior. And over 2 years, we must have bought 50 prints from him. And then within inside of 2 years, all of them were turning black. And we called him and we said, hey, what is going on? And then he went back and he goes, we never put UV on any of your prints. And I said, they were exterior. He goes, I see it. He goes, we'll reprint all of them for free. Well, he's talking $30,000, $40,000 worth of work. And I said, no, as a client's call, we'll figure it out together. I'm not going to have you eat it, but you're willing to work with me. And that's all I could ask for. That's all I could appreciate. And he was so fast to just do the right thing, not worry about the bottom line, but just take care of the customer. I never forgot that. I had a lot of respect for him. He was driving his company in the right direction. He was doing really, really well. And he just took care of the customers. And I really believe that the more we take care of our customers, the better off we're going to be. So find that rejuvenation. Don't get mired in all the details all the time. You're going to find yourself, in a happier place and realizing why you get up every morning, realizing that drive is there because it's there. And we make really cool stuff. And not every person in every business and every organization gets to say that, but we do. Sign guys, we do. We make really cool stuff. So enjoy what we're doing because not everybody gets to be us. Talk to you next week.